Hey everyone, it's me, Amber. Today we are going to be answering the question, should I get a $35 Shutterfly wedding album? Now, as many of you know, Brian and I were married back on May 22nd of this year, and due to COVID, we were not able to have the wedding we originally planned. So we had a virtual ceremony where we had a small number of close family members there in person, and then the rest of our family and friends were able to tune in via Zoom. Now, we also were not able to have a professional photographer for this. We were lucky that our photographer was willing to work with us. We wanted to do a vow renewal, and he was willing to reschedule and do a vow renewal for us next year as like our photography thing. But we did not have professional photos. All the ceremony photos were just ones that I roped my sister's boyfriend into taking on my cell phone. The rest of the pictures we took on a relatively nice camera, the one I'm recording on right now. The people who were taking photos were just not trained photographers, and there were a handful of different people taking photos, and it is fantastic. I am so thankful that they were willing to take the photos, but none of these were professional quality. So the thought of spending hundreds of dollars on a professional quality album when the pictures are certainly not professional quality seemed not like a reasonable solution. I happened to have a Shutterfly discount code, and I was making my dad a mug for Father's Day, and I thought, why not try their cheapest photo album option and see if that actually is at all decent or if it's an absolute waste of money. So that idea led us to today. If you do try ordering your wedding album on Shutterfly, even if you click the bottom of the barrel no frills option, when you go to add things to your cart, they'll start asking you if you want all these add-ons. And the add-ons are not cheap, so it'll be like, do you want glossy photo paper? Add $20. Do you want lay flat pages for an extra $20? And I had to keep being like, well, sure, I like these, but not for an extra $20. I am a little bit sad I didn't do the lay flat pages, but it was literally, I think, $20 extra. There was one add-on I did buy. They offer a little memorabilia folder you can put in the back of your album, and that one was just over $2, and so I was like, okay, I'll buy that because I can put my vow book in there. So we should have both the album and the little memorabilia clear envelope-y thing in here. All right. So we have here our wedding album. One thing to note about this before we get into it is that I designed this myself. So they had an option when I was doing this to have one of their designers design your album free of charge, but I'm a very particular person. And so as much as I like the idea of outsourcing it to someone else, I was like, I want to do this so that I know, like, it's to the best of my liking. That someone else might not know all the details of the different photos or their significance or anything like that. So if I'm going to do this, I would like to be the one to put it together. Now that might have been a cool experiment to buy one that I did myself and one that their designers did and like kind of compare them. But again, I just didn't want to invest that much money. So right off the bat though, this isn't looking too bad. So there's no frills. I also wanted metallic lettering, but that was like an extra, I think $11 just to have metallic lettering on the front. So I went with non-metallic lettering. Was a little bit sad about that, but that was what had to happen. So this is the front of our album. And print-wise, it doesn't look too bad. Again, if there are any layout issues that you can all blame on me, I picked the little flowers. There's a flower theme going throughout because we did our Alice in Wonderland themed wedding, and that was the layout that seemed most Wonderland appropriate. Now here on the back, there's our little insert we're going to put in the back, and then also there's some flowers I added. Now, the picture quality, the print quality, doesn't seem too bad. I mean, these were both ones taken on the camera. So these ones are some of the nicer pictures we had in there. This one, probably my sister's boyfriend Jacob took, and then the one on the back my dad took of us. Yeah, maybe the print quality isn't super nice. It's okay if you don't look up close, and I don't think you're going to be able to see any issues from here, but when I look at this up close, the front isn't so bad. The back, though, has some issues, I would say. So, I mean, if you look at it from a distance, it's fine. No one's going to notice. But Not the greatest print quality, but again, this is the bottom of the barrel, so not bad for that. So our first page was from the ceremony. All these photos were taken on my phone camera, and they were taken at quite a distance, so I had to, when I was making the album, I had to zoom in a lot on the photos, so they lost some of their detail. They're a little less nice looking than they could have been. But that is not the fault of Shutterfly, that is just my phone camera. As good as it is, it's obviously not professional, and again, the pictures were really zoomed out, so I had to zoom in a lot. Now, one annoying thing about Shutterfly was that they have these pre-made layouts you can use. And I really like the idea of using the flower templates because we had an Alice in Wonderland themed wedding and I wanted our album to reflect that. Now, unfortunately, their set of layouts are per number of photos per page. So you have one set of layouts for 1 photo per page, one set of layouts for 2 photos, one set of layouts for 3 photos, so on and so forth. And for each of these, there was only one design with the red rose. So I ended up using both the red rose and the orange rose. Like, I would have liked to do this one with the red rose, but there wasn't a similar template. I liked the orange rose template better, so I went with the orange one. And I stuck to the red and orange roses throughout, but I really wish I could have customized it so I could have had this layout, but with the red rose instead of the orange one. Like, they did not have enough customization options for my liking. With these pages here, there's some nice space between the pictures, but when I wanted to use the red rose, those ones had the overlap, and I didn't love the overlap. But to get the red rose, you had to go with this. So their customization is unfortunately a bit minimal. There's a lot you can do if you want no designs on your pages, but if you want designs, then it's a little trickier. These were some more pictures from the ceremony, from the ring exchange in particular. And then this was just one for the 2 of us after the ceremony. And the caption says, "Introducing for the first time as husband and wife, Dr. Amber Hathaway and Dr. Brian Toner." So it was fun being announced as doctor at the ceremony. I'm sure that will get old soon, but it hasn't gotten old yet. And then the rest of the album is mostly pictures from after the ceremony. This is a good page. So here was Brian getting chased by a hornet. That was a repeated theme throughout the wedding, was someone getting chased by a hornet. Mostly Brian, but it buzzed around me, it buzzed around my sister, but mostly it wanted to chase Brian. So here are a couple pictures of Brian being chased by a hornet. And that was part of why I wanted to do the album myself instead of letting Shutterfly handle it, was the people at Shutterfly wouldn't necessarily understand the context for the pictures. Like, you could put in some details, but I don't know how detailed it was going to be, and so I like that I could just put together this page and be like, look, Brian's getting chased by a hornet, and have that be like a thing in our wedding album. And then me and my sister, and so the rest of these are just different pictures from different points during the day. You know, me and my parents. Brian and his parents. And so it just continues like that. Now, pros and cons. So the pros are, first of all, it was comparatively very cheap. Because I bought this when there was a discount going on, I think the album ended up costing, like, I don't remember, but I think I got like $22 off the album, something like that. So if it was $35 originally and I get $22 off, I would have paid about $13 for it, which seems about right. But even if it was a bit more than that, it was still relatively cheap. So if you are going to buy a wedding album from Shutterfly, if you wait until there's a discount, then you can get a pretty good chunk of money off, and you can get an album for probably under $20. So considering that this was probably under $20, really not too bad. The other place where it's really good is time savings. Their layouts are pre-made, so you just pick a layout for a page and pop the photos in. It saves a lot of time. So I used to do scrapbooking a lot, but I have fallen so far behind. The most recent photos I have scrapbooked are from 2014. And so I have just years upon years of photos that have not been scrapbooked and probably will not be scrapbooked anytime soon. And so if you want to save a lot of time, the best option, other than just buying an album with inserts and inserting pictures into inserts, would be something like this. Now the minus sides are the print quality is not quite as nice. I'll try and hold this up to you, but you may not see it. But if you look closely enough, you can see the dots making up the photos. Now you can see that with basically any photo because that's all that make it up are dots, like little dots of ink. But I feel like the photos I print on my home printer actually look a lot nicer. They have probably a better DPI, which is dots per inch ratio. I don't know what the DPI is on Shutterfly, but it's obviously not going to be as high as like a professional photo printing service. So higher DPI means better looking photos. And then my other big grievance would be the lack of customization options. So they have all these pre-made layouts, but you can't rearrange things in those pre-made layouts. So it'd be nice if they had like a blank template and then like clip art you could put over the template or something like that. And maybe they have some of those features and I just didn't see them, but as far as I could tell, I couldn't see any way to, for example, make the orange roses red. Like just take the layout with the orange roses and swap them out for red roses, something like that. I do think that this was worth it. I think it's in a lot of ways very suitable for our wedding, given that it was kind of a very, very low budget affair. A low budget album seemed perfect for that. But it's not as nice as a professionally done one. I'm sure that there are probably people out there who could take my not so great photos and make a beautiful looking album from them. But those people's price points are probably much, much higher than what I could afford to pay. So for under $20, really not too bad. I mean, I guess if you count shipping, it was over $20, but for under $30, not too bad. Even if you paid the full price of $35 and then however much shipping, still not too bad. And I think it's fine without the frills. I mean, the lay flat pages might be nice, but even though these pages don't lay flat, it's not like a huge detraction. You can still see basically all the way to the edge of the photos. So I think not adding the add-ons was probably a good thing. And I'm probably happier with it than I would have been if I'd spent like the extra $20 for the lay flat pages and then another $20 for like glossy pages or something like that. I think the quality for $35 is reasonable, but if I had the same photo quality for like $75, I wouldn't have been as happy with that. I also went ahead and added the little memorabilia folder, so it has my vow book in there. It looks like you can tape this shut if you want to, but I want to leave it open so that we could take out the vow book if we wanted to. But I do think this little clear memento holder is a very nice addition. So you can put little souvenirs from your day in there. And it was just over $2. They were having some kind of sale, so it was like $2.19, but even full price it's like $3. So for an add-on, it really wasn't bad. So if you are having a budget wedding like I did, and you want an album that shows your photos but isn't super high quality, this is a perfectly reasonable option. If you want the most gorgeous album imaginable, this is not the option for you. And if you're having your photos taken by a professional, this probably is not the option for you because the professional quality of your photos will not be reflected in their printing. So maybe their higher end albums have better print quality, but their standard one is not going to show all the beauty of professional photos. But for photos that are taken by your sister's boyfriend who is not in any stretch of the imagination a photographer, this is perfect. And I say that not to be mean. Huge thank you once again to Jacob for taking the photos. Without him, we would not have these memories. So while the photos are not professional quality, that is a-okay. It was exactly what we needed, and so I just want to make it clear that I'm not making fun of him or his photography. I'm very thankful for those. But also, it doesn't matter if we lose some DPI because the photos are just, you know, they're photos. They're good, but they're not professional. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, I'd love it if you gave it a like or let me know in the comments. Are you considering ordering some Shutterfly albums for your own wedding? If you end up ordering nicer ones, I'd love to hear from you how they turn out, or even if you order this version, what your thoughts are. Obviously, this is not sponsored. I am not the type of person who has enough followers to receive sponsorships, so not sponsored. Thanks for watching and have a great day.